down, they vote!
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. This is your good friend Jimbo back again for another episode. No shoulders this week. Had work, we have to, us working class guys have to work 40, 50 hours a week. The special guest, I was trying to get King to come on for us. I had some running around to do today, so our schedules didn't really match up either, but hey, you guys at least have me, your good friend Jimbo, which you can find me over on Twitter at Jimbo ST Sports, as well as the show at ST Sports Podcast. This is the Good Friday, the Friday before Easter. I want to wish everybody a happy holidays before I forget. Also, before we get into the show, head over to YouTube. We have a new YouTube channel that we're adding past shows on there, plus any shows that we do now. So if you can't find us on iTunes or Spotify or Google Play or the main big ones out there that you could download us, you could just head over to YouTube and subscribe there and listen to us that way. So a lot to talk about today. I know yesterday was our fight episodes. The only thing I didn't do yesterday, which I will do today, I'll do my UFC picks, which there's a UFC fight. It says fight night, but it comes on at 1 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday. So I'll do my picks for that. I'm going to try to do the live tweet during that because some of the fights actually looked pretty decent, so it could be a good card. We're going to talk a little, excuse me. Hockey Flyers named a new head coach. Give my opinion about that. Give my opinion about the Flyers fans' reactions. We got some college football talk. So a lot to talk about tonight. So we're just gonna jump right into it. And it came out this past week that Notre Dame is gonna unveil a female mascot. Female leprechaun for the mascot. The female's name is Lynette Wookie. She's going to be the first female to be the Irish woman, I guess we would say. We'd have to properly say. And Notre Dame first brought the mascot on back in 1965, and since then it's been pretty much all male and mostly white. They're going to have 3 people be the mascots this year for different sporting events. Football, women's basketball, men's basketball, different things like that. Not sure if we're going to see her as the female mascot for the football. College football season this year. And reading some of the comments, a lot of people are saying it should still be a male, just because the emblem is a red-bearded, red-haired male. But in a way, I'm okay with it. It's not 1965 no more. It's the 21st century, and also, I know a lot of people don't like change, so that could be a big reason why some of these fans are against it. I just hope that Notre Dame's not doing this as a, feminist movement type thing. I hope they gave this to this female because she deserves it. She earned it. Not just because, it's a female, let's get out in front of this PR type deal thing. So congratulations to Leonette. Curious to see, what sports she's part of. Like I said, there's 2 other males that are going to be the mascots as well. And actually, the one male was, I believe, the mascot for college football last year, and he was the first native Irishman to be the leprechaun for Notre Dame, which, again, is kind of strange that it took this long to have a native Irishman. I mean, 1965, you're looking at, 50, 60 years of mascots, and never had a true Irishman as the leprechaun for Notre Dame. So, that, like I said, that was kind of a curious story. And just like everything else, too, the people that don't agree with the decision or whatever, eventually they're going to come around, and they're going to be okay with it. I mean, you look at Gritty from the Flyers. I'll admit, I hated it. I hated the idea, the look of him. He's grown on me. And my youngest that I took to the Flyers game last month, he loves him. Watching him do the things he does, the streaking at the Stadium Series game, zip lining from the top of Lincoln Financial down to the ice, he grew on me, And the same thing, I think, could happen with Leonette being the new female mascot for Notre Dame. So for my Notre Dame fans out there that do listen to us, shoot me a message over at the show's Twitter handle, ST Sports Podcast, and let me know what you think. Are you for? Are you against it? Don't really care? I mean, let's be honest. Yes, it's cool to see the mascot, but they don't win the games for us. The players are the ones that win it. So shoot me a tweet over there, and give me your opinion about what you think. How do you feel about the leprechaun being a female? The other thing that happened this past week was Philadelphia was awarded the 2026 All-Star Game. Now, the reason why they got the 2026 one, because still, I believe, 2021 through 25 don't have a location yet, was they want to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. I also saw, when this rumor came out, I think it was like last week, the rumor started circling that they might get the All-Star Game. Philly was hoping to get this to eventually maybe get a Super Bowl or an All-Star Game of their own to help celebrate the 250th anniversary. And this is the first step for hopefully that to happen. Now, some notes that, I saw when I was reading on ESPN about this story was this will be the first time that the All-Star Game is at Citizens Bank Park, which opened in 2004, so it's going on 15 years. It's kind of surprising. I mean, Phillies are a very storied franchise over the years. 1976 was the last All-Star Game in Philly, which was played at Veterans Stadium, which I missed that ballpark. I missed that football stadium, baseball stadium, whatever you want to call it. It had a lot of character. Let's put it that way. The 700 Club with the fights or whatever you want to say it. The batteries being thrown at Santa. Yeah, we got a lot of bad rep for that, but Lincoln Financial is a beautiful stadium. I love it. There's not a bad seat in the stadium, But walking up those steps in the 700 level, man, you thought you were going up above Jesus. But when they played that one in '76, that was actually to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. So it seems like they're kind of going with a little theme here. MLB is. When they held a press conference, they had Bryce Harper and Mike Schmidt, which hopefully, Mike Schmidt is still around when they have this All-Star game, and maybe have like a celebrity softball game, which I think they do anyways. And I already talked to Shoulder a little bit that me and him should head down there for the All-Star game. We're about 2 hours away from Philly. I talked to my dad about it. I told him I want to go to the Home Run Derby. I think that'd be pretty cool to see. So I'm excited for this. I've been to a handful of MLB baseball games, but never to an All-Star game. When I was actually younger, I went to a International League All-Star game, which that was the Home Run Derby also, and that was pretty cool. I mean, I was probably 14, 15 years old, and I thought it was pretty cool. I probably still would like it even at my age now. So I'm kind of excited for that. It's going to help, I think, put Philly on the map to get some of these bigger games. Like the All-Star Game, Super Bowls, stuff like that. So, still speaking about Philly, this past week, the Philadelphia Flyers have named a new head coach. They've named Alain Vigneault as the new head coach. The last team he played for, that he coached, was the New York Rangers, which, when I started getting into hockey to follow the Flyers and stuff like that, was just a few years ago. So I remember him with the Rangers, and they won the Stanley Cup in 2014. After that, just didn't seem like that Rangers team was any good. They seemed okay, average. So when I saw we signed this guy, I was a little upset because I was hoping Scott Gordon would have got a chance, and supposedly they gave him a chance. Sat him down for the interview with Elaine being hired. They also, the rumor that I seen was they gave Scott Gordon the Phantom's job. If he wants it, it's his. With how he turned that team around last year, almost making the playoffs in a way with such a bad team that he inherited, I would not even offered him the Phantom's job. If Elaine was okay with it, I would have offered him an assistant NHL coach job. Let him up there and get some more experience. I think he was the head coach of the Islanders back in the day. So, and the thing I think, if they were to do that, would help the Flyers, because he coached the young prospects with the Phantoms, so he could actually help Vigneault bring those guys up and tell him, hey, this is one of his strengths or his weakness, or this is how you could probably go about maybe motivating this guy, this and that. So Scott Gordon is still in limbo. I'm hoping he stays with the Flyers organization somewhere, whether it's the Phantoms or with the Flyers. A little backstory to Vigneault. He also coached the Canucks for 7 seasons and the Canadiens for 4. Won the President's Trophy 3 times, 2011, 12, and 15, and reached the Stanley Cups twice, once with the Canucks and once with the Rangers. As far as the contract was, the Flyers just say it was multi-year, but no exact details about it. Now, when it came out that we hired him, I want to say about 75% of the Flyers fans were just bashing this hire. I always try to not react to a signing and take a step back, think about it, look, if it doesn't feel right, look into it and do some research on it. And I'll tell you what, since he's been hired, I believe it was Tuesday, I think Tuesday it came out that we hired him, and then we had the press conference yesterday. The more I saw and read articles about him, the more excited I'm actually getting. He likes to use his blue liners in the offense, which the past 2 seasons, Ghost, he was a ghost. Gossesbear just offensively wasn't there. And that could be Hackstall's problem that caused Ghost to kind of fall off. And I know a lot of Flyers fans are saying we should trade Ghost and this and that. The one thing Vigneault said in his press conference that I'm happy with is there's not going to be major changes. He likes the group of players that we got. And I think we have a good group of players. A lot of people bash Drew that he's not good and this and that. You look, he's goal-wise and points-wise, he's been consistent. It's not like, as much as I hate to put this guy down because he's my favorite player, but when Wayne Simmons was playing with us the past 2 years, he just completely nosedived off the planet with his points. And then, Couturier, one of our better players defensively and offensively. I believe he got 30-plus goals last year. And then you got Voracek there. Voracek's getting a little bit older. I think we may just ride that contract out and go from there, but I think we still have like another year or two with him. Vigneault is also getting my new boy, Carter Hart. Very young. He's going to be, 22, 21 next year. So not a lot of tread on him. You have Philip Myers coming back. He's going to probably be up there with the big guys. He played most of the season with the Flyers. He was impressive. You have Provorov. You have Sanheim. You have a lot of good young guys on this team. It just, I think with Hackstall, his problem was he had no experience up there. Now with Vigneault, he has the experience, and he could probably bring these guys to the next level because he's been there. He's been around young players before. And for these Flyers fans that are passionate, that, typical Philadelphia, we lost out on Quinville, and now we're just taking the second best guy. It's not, listen, if he's the second best guy, would you rather go back to Hackstall, who was the worst guy? I mean, come on now. The guy's won 2 Stanley Cups. The old joke, when's the last time did we win a Stanley Cup? He's a above 500 head coach with wins. I think I also saw that he's 12th among head coaches in wins all time. So he's a winner. It's just that with that Rangers team, they just kind of chugged through that final season with Vigneault, kind of like with what happened with Scott Gordon. That last week or two, we just tailed off because, let's be honest, we ran out of gas. We were so far behind when Gordon came on, and the run that we went with, just, we wasted all of our energy. Now, I'm hoping one of the first things that Vigneault helps this team is the slow starts. We got to get out there. We got to get out ahead in the first period, because I believe like the past 2 seasons, the third period would come in, we outscored every team. But that first period, everybody would jump out so far ahead that we were always playing catch up and just never could, come back all the way. Also, I hope that we get a little more physical. No more of this, I'm going to pull up because, he's coming at me type deal. Like, if a hockey player has the puck run him over. Or try to bump him off the puck. Don't, I'm going to skate off the side like a little girl. Like, come on, man. Like, this is hockey. And as far as, not to get off topic here, too, as far as the people that are like, oh, fighting needs to be taken out of hockey because Ovechkin knocked out a 19-year-old kid. That kid asked for the fight. If you don't want to get knocked out, don't ask for the fight. And I hate Ovechkin. Not hate, I dislike him. But that knockout was brutal. And kudos to Ovechkin, because when he knocked the kid out, when they both fell to the ice, a lot of times during fights, you see once they hit the ice, a player will do one or two more punches just to get it in. Ovechkin got right up. He didn't throw any extra punches because he knew he was knocked out. So kudos to him. All you PC people that don't want fighting in hockey or whatever, go watch a different sport. Go watch golf or tennis or something else that's not so physical for you. Anyways, back to Vigneault. I'm hoping to see a little bit more physicalness, better defense. Stop with the trying to be pretty passes. Like, just get it down to the offensive zone and just start putting pucks on the goalie. Because, you got James Van Riemsdyk also. Sit him up in front like Wayne Simmons used to. And get those rebounds. That's where a lot of the goals he gets. I mean, you look at the Penguins Islanders series. I was very impressed by the Islanders. They looked like they just didn't care who they were playing. They were taking them out. Penguins looked old, but no one's sitting down in front of net. Even Crosby would try and just would get knocked right out of the area. So they couldn't get no rebounds. And there was a lot of rebounds that goalie gave up that they could have scored. But a little bit of the hockey playoffs, like I said, Penguins got swept. So for all you Penguins fans that want to bust on me about the Flyers, hey, we won the same amount of playoff games this year as you did, so you shut up. Malkin, I don't know what Malkin's problem was throughout the whole playoffs, because you sneezed the wrong way and he was barking at you and wanted to fight and everything. And I mean, maybe you were trying to get fights to get your team hyped back up and get back into the games or something, but it seemed like he was taking a lot of bad penalties. Some of them may have been questionable, as far as on the ref side, but then you also had the Tampa Bay Lightning getting swept. And right before I started recording, I did a NHL bracket challenge on NHL.com with my boys, and we actually had the Penguins and the Tampa Bay in the finals, or the semifinals, to go to the Stanley Cup. So obviously that side of the bracket is just destroyed. We still have, I think we have the Blues and the Avalanche going to the semifinals. They're still playing. I think as far as tonight and tomorrow, it's pretty much like game 5s and game 6s going on. Definitely a lot better series for all those teams compared to the Penguins and Tampa Bay. And but kind of going back to the Penguins though too, it wasn't like they got blown out. I mean, they just got outskated. Matt Murray, man, how the mighty have fallen. When Vegas got Fleury, because the Penguins figured Fleury is over the hill, this and that, and Fleury's playing lights out again. For Vegas, he got his 15th playoff shutout. Vegas looking good again. It looks like it's not a one-year wonder from last year. So, I remember last year's playoffs, and it seemed okay, but this season seems a little bit more entertaining for some reason. A lot better games than in the past. Now, before we go, I'm going to run down the UFC fight picks for tomorrow. I believe they're over in Russia. And I think that's maybe why it's a 1 p.m. Start. I think the prelims actually start at 10 a.m. And, some of the fights we got here, you got Alistair Overeem fighting. You have Sergey Pavlovich fighting. You also have Krzysztof Jotko and even Roxanne, there we go, Modafari, which she's actually pretty funny. She was on the Ultimate Fighter. I think it was the first female Ultimate Fighter season. So, as far as the main card, I believe the first fight is going to be Krzysztof Jotko versus Alan Amedovsky. Any name that has a Z and a Y in your first name, you gotta be a badass. I mean, I have seen Jotko fight a couple times, and I liked him, so this one is a middleweight fight. So I'm gonna go with Jotko with the win over Alan Amedovsky. And then in the women's flyweight, like I said, we have Roxanne Modafari versus Antonion Shevchenko. If you guys get a chance to watch the Shevchenko's sisters doing their open workout thing, it's basically choreographed. It's like dancing watching them, but they're doing MMA moves. It's actually pretty funny and pretty cool to watch. I like Roxanne. She kind of seems like she has a new surge in her career now. But I'm going to go with Antonia because her sister is the women's champion. I forget which division. I think it's the next weight class above the flyweights. So if she's as good as her sister, this should be an easy win for Roxanne. But hey, you never know. It could be an upset for Antonia, and Roxanne could pull it out. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think Antonia is going to win this one. After that, we have a light heavyweight, Ivan Shutgrov versus Devin Clark. I'm going to go with Devin Clark with this one, and I like the lightweights, or the light heavyweights, because it could be anything. It could be a knockout, it could be submissions, and other than John Jones, these could be very close fights. So I'm going to go with Devin Clark with this one. After that, we have the first heavyweight fight of the night on the main card, which is Sergey Pavlovich versus Marcelo Golm. I'm going to go with Sergey. Sounds like a Russian name. And those Russians, I mean, they can fight. Just look at Ovechkin. So I'm going to go with any heavyweight fight you got to figure it's going to be a knockout. As long as it's not another Derek Lewis or what was that one fighter's name where there's like 5 punches thrown through the whole fight. Then after that fight, we have the lightweight fight between Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Lightweights, I'm going to go with Arman with a submission win. Go with the second round. See how close we get. Then in the main event, heavyweight, Alistair Overeem versus Alexei Oleinik. I don't like Overeem. Never really have. He always seemed earlier in his career like he was always on steroids, and now that they're doing these a lot strict, more strict of testings, he's very up and down, it seems. So I'm gonna go with Alexei. Could go to decision, but both guys are heavy hitters, so I'm saying it's going to be a knockout. So that's going to be my picks for the UFC Fight Night, or Fight Day, however you want to say it. I'm going to, like I said, try a live tweet tomorrow during the fights. Head over to Twitter to follow me there at ST Sports Podcast. Follow my personal one at Jimbo ST Sports. And hopefully next weekend, Shoulder will be back, and you can follow him at shoulders_bro. Head over to YouTube, subscribe to our new channel. I'm going to try to throw some more episodes up there for you guys to listen to. If you don't have us on iTunes or Spotify, TuneIn, Google Play, all those awesome platforms to listen to our shows. But before I go, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Please be safe, be careful. This is your good friend Jimbo, signing out.